What's up, Bob? We in the building. Y'all heard what I said, Wrestling Pod. Diesel D here with my bros, Top Don, aka They Don't Want None.
Yes, sir.
This is just our random look in professional wrestling. And we're going to start with our boys over at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Specifically with our new IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion.
Finally.
The Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. He finally gets the IWGP Heavyweight title. This is his second reign with the Intercontinental title. But he finally gets that win over Tetsuya Naito. Naito has been carrying both belts for the last couple months. Before that, who had it? Evil?
Yeah.
Had it before him.
Because he took it from Naito.
And then Naito had it again. So for the last year, since the Wrestle Kingdom last year, both belts have been defended at the same time, each time. But speaking of that, that was night one. On night two, he had to go up against Switchblade Jay White. And if you guys don't remember, Jay White took the G1 Climax contract from Kota Ibushi. So now he was ready to cash it in. But he wasn't successful as Kota Ibushi retained both of those titles. And now he wants to unify the titles. He says to him, the history of the heavyweight title means you're the greatest. The history of the Intercontinental means you're the strongest. He says, I want to unify them and show people I can be the greatest and the strongest. It looks like it's going to be a battle doing that because of the money behind the promotion, but how you guys feel about that?
I don't really like the idea.
I don't either.
I don't either, but when is the last time that they've been separate lately?
I don't know.
Well, it's been like 2 years probably.
Yeah. Since
that's my thing.
Since
like you even
I get what he's saying. Since they've been like that for like almost the last 2 years.
But as Tom was saying, I don't like the idea of unification anyway. I don't like the fact that they've been going through the ranks of keeping both people with the titles like they did with WWE when it was Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Randy. No. If he has to have 2 matches in one night to lose one of those titles like Becky Lynch did, and then he can keep and go with his reign as the heavyweight, let's do that.
Don't keep making them defend both of them at the same time. Make one of them be defended.
But remember when we went to the
G1 Climax?
To the Supercard of Honor.
Bring on the Supercard.
That was Kota Ibushi dream, holding both titles.
He did. He said that.
And at that point, he lost to Naito. Naito got the Intercontinental title. Then Naito did it before him. Then it's ironic that Kota Ibushi went and beat Naito.
Yep.
To fulfill his prophecy, his dream of getting both titles. But now he want to unify. Kota, you one of my favorite, but I don't agree.
And just talking about him saying one is for the strongest, one is for the greatest. Let's talk about the history of the IWGP Intercontinental title. Well, the first champion of that title back in 2011 was Montel Montavious Porter, MVP, a black man to do it. Congrats to that brother, because he was balling back then. But as we keep it going, you know, Shinsuke Nakamura holds the record, 5-time Intercontinental IWGP champion, and the longest reign of total days combined. You know, so this night he might have a point with this being strong, you know. But then when you look at the heavyweight, this is his first reign, and he wants to show that. Still going on Kota, Don Callis said it's big because let's see. Right now at this exact time, we have Kenny Omega as the All Elite World Champion and the Triple I Mega Champion. Kota Ibushi with 2 belts, the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental. The Golden Lovers are dominating professional wrestling right now. And Don Callis said he loves that Kota's doing his thing, but as he said earlier, Omega is just on another level and nobody's even close. And he said Kota's not close because he has a closed world view. He doesn't think he has the broad athletic repertoire to handle worldwide wrestling.
That's not true. Ibushi one of the best in the business. I
believe so as well. And it just doesn't make any sense. But New Japan Pro Wrestling, we have a couple of events coming up. It's New Japan New Beginnings. And the card's already lined up. If you don't know, go check it out. We also had a promo from Mox as he finally showed up with that IWGP United States champion.
Finally.
About time.
Finally showed up. And he let Kenta know that when I'm ready, you just make sure you're ready. But you're still not getting the title. And how y'all feel about that? Do you think Kenta will take this title?
Kenta's taking that title.
I believe Kenta's taking that. And it has nothing to do with the pandemic, the travel schedule, blah, blah, blah. I feel like even if this wasn't happening, the return of Kenta back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, his roots, where he made his name, because WWE tried to take him and ruin him. He's back, and I think he's going to prove why he's back.
Sonata's been my boy for the longest time since 10-8. And Impact. And tag team with Evil. They already pushed Evil up there to get the title.
Yeah.
Sonata.
Evil done had his time. Sonata's time, as Darren said. The last thing I'm going to talk about on this episode is some of the major storylines for all of the champions across major promotions. Let's talk about it. We got Drew McIntyre right now. He's in a fight with Goldberg, one of the most dominant forces in his time when he was Goldberg. Does he win or does he keep it?
Man, you gotta keep it. That's all I'm gonna say. Unless they going into that storyline.
I think Drew keeps it.
I hope he keeps it, but it's interesting to see who he fights at the Royal Rumble if he keeps it. And it's interesting to see what happens if he
It's
loses.
interesting to see, regardless who wins, it's interesting to see who's going to be that next opponent afterwards heading into WrestleMania.
Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. It's all been about the tag team champions and Charlotte.
She's tag team champion too.
So,
But
what's next for Asuka? Because we've
Yeah,
already
Charlotte
pointed
too.
out how, some of us have already pointed out how this is one of our worst title runs in 2020. And right now, 2021 not getting off to a good start. Because it's not even a focus on Raw, a 3-hour show. So who do y'all think is next?
Charlotte Flair.
They're going to end up losing the tag titles on one of these next few episodes coming up on either Raw, SmackDown, whatever. And that's how they're going to start the feud between Charlotte Flair and Asuka.
Or can I get the fatal four-way that I was saying last year that I was going thought was going to happen with Charlotte, Asuka, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler?
That would
Just
be
give me
very
the
good.
fatal
I would
four-way.
like that too.
We switch it over to SmackDown with the Big Dog, the Universal Champion, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, your Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. It's interesting. His storyline has been fucking epic. The return of KO getting one more shot at the Royal Rumble. The Big Dog keeps his title. Is that true?
Yeah.
I guess so.
You guess so.
You guess so. And with that being said, if the Big Dog keeps
If
the title,
it is,
when the
it
Big
is.
Dog keeps the title, who do you think he has at WrestleMania? If D-Brown doesn't win the Royal Rumble, I don't know where they headed with that. Your SmackDown Women's Champion, the Standard, the Blueprint, the legit boss, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. I think is next.
I don't know whoever next. I just know Sasha won't have that belt until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Bayley gonna win the Women Warriors Rumble.
I would love it.
And then she gonna beat Sasha for the SmackDown.
She's gonna win
see
the
that.
Women's Royal Rumble, and it's gonna be hello, ding
Then she's
dong.
gonna beat Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. And then Bianca Belair is gonna take it from Bayley.
As we go to NXT, we have the Prince with the NXT champion, but TikTok, he's coming. Is he next for Finn?
No, I think
I think it's another
Valentine's Day is going to be Pete Dunne. And then at the WrestleMania it's going to be Karrion Kross against Finn Balor.
That's
Well,
what I
if
believe.
Pete Dunne wins it? No.
And what's next?
No, next.
What's next for Io? Yo, NXT Women's Champion.
So already Mercedes Martinez, like, well, she said she don't care about the title.
Mercedes Martinez not winning this
She
match.
said she don't care. She just want to beat up, but she ain't beating her. So it's either Raquel.
She just beat Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley. Well,
So it's either out of Raquel, Ember Moon, or Toni Storm.
Well, she got a lot of challenges, but
Yeah.
I don't see Io going past the WrestleMania takeover with this belt because they got a lot of women in there. They got to start sharing that shit.
Yeah.
Let's head over to Ring of Honor as we have El Toro Blanco with the World Championship, and now he has his pops with him. He has Bro Dragon Lee. Kenny Kane should be back. They might be going up against the Foundation going on forward, but other than that tandem, who's next as a singles person?
It's a good question. He already took on Brody King, so I'd like to see Shane Taylor get up there.
But with that, we headed over to All Elite Wrestling. What's next for the cleaner? Because he already has the Triple I Mega Championship. He has the All Elite Wrestling Championship. Will he end up being the Impact World Champion before 2021 is over?
He better not.
I don't know. I have no idea. I still think Moose going to take the title from Rich Swann.
And speaking of Kenny, who's next for Kenny?
But for Kenny,
Could be anybody.
Anybody for Kenny. That's what I think.
I still think
It'll be any match would be a great match.
The route,
I still think
the route
right
that Kenny's on now, Kenny's not losing no time.
He's not losing probably through the whole year probably.
There will be a rematch with Mox, but I don't think he'll win that match cleanly. So his title reign will continue. But then speaking of Impact, what's next for Richard Swann? Moose, the other champion, and I think Moose wins this match dominantly and finally takes that title away. And then we go back to the longest reigning All Elite Wrestling Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. I don't know what the fuck is next.
I don't know what's going on with. We just gonna have to see what's next for Shida.
Maybe Serena and Shida fight each other.
How long does Shida have the title? 10 months,
something like that.
We want to go through. I got the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Let's talk about what's going on with Joe. Last year he had a couple concussions that back to back, and at that time they felt it was best he needed some time to chill and get his head right. Get his head right, no pun intended. But he ended up going on the announce table once Theo Madden decided he wanted to try to wrestle after that 5 through a table and become Mace of Retribution. He's in his spot now, as they made sure they let us know on the air, and I'm just interested. It's been basically a year, and it's the road to WrestleMania. Do you guys believe that Joe comes off that announce table and enters the Royal Rumble? And if not, what's next in the immediate future of Samoa Joe? Is he now an announce table wrestler? Is he now the Wade Bird of the main roster, or will we finally see Samoa Joe again? Because I still want a title reign for Samoa Joe, one of the most dominant champions in NXT history.
We just gonna have to wait and see until after the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. He teased it with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was back on Raw at the time.
Going up with Dominic.
During SummerSlam.
And he helped them stop messing with Tom Phillips. But I told Top this, at the Royal Rumble, when the Rumble started, they even want to say, the other commentators going to say, Joe can't be here with us tonight. He's out. That means he in the Rumble. Or the other thing that's going to happen. The Rumble going to be going on.
His star just going to
He's just going to take off his shit.
He's going to take off his shit. And hop in there.
But please, if y'all can give it over the last 20 years, if y'all can give us random. There was one Royal Rumble where fucking JBL, Michael Cole, and the King was all in the Royal Rumble. Can we get Samoa Joe, please? Joe, you don't want to wrestle no more? Can you at least ask him about
I think it's up to him. If he's in good enough shape for him to wrestle, then I think he should be in.
I'm this Joe.
At this point, I think it's up to Joe.
There was so many feuds. Meanwhile, we get Goldberg once again, and I'll give a kudos to the promo of Drew McIntyre. He pieced together some pieces of why this match happened with Goldberg. He never won a WWE title. He wants to see if he can beat Drew McIntyre. And Drew was like, what did you look like fighting you in your prime? Because that's what it looks like, blah, blah. It was a good promo, and I understand a little bit. I still don't give a fuck about it. But I understand.
What about this? What if Samoa Joe do come back? What if he win? And then what if he restart the feud again with Reigns? The Samoan versus the Samoan.
That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. While we're talking about the Royal Rumble, what other picks do you have for the Royal Rumble? We said Daniel Bryan.
Samoa Joe.
Me, before Goldberg entered the picture, yeah, I said Daniel Bryan, but my other choice was the almighty Bobby Lashley. Because he's a heel, Drew McIntyre's a face. If he wins, he can go on, try to get that title. Fine. But once Goldberg enters the picture, and it could possibly be Goldberg winning the title at Royal Rumble. Because after he won the Fame, anything is possible. After, like KG said, and that's bullshit. And I hated that. I hated that whole Fame bullshit, and it made me almost not want to watch WWE at all. But then the pandemic happened, and it was really only them and AEW on, so I just continued watching it. And I can't even act like there's a chance that Goldberg wins this title. There is, just based off of that, the last 2 years of Goldberg's career, him basically not losing fucking anything except the Undertaker, which he wasn't.
I told y'all before, the Fame. If they do with that whole storyline, that's if Goldberg on the title could come back and fix with that whole storyline with the Fame.
Yeah.
If they give him the money that he always wants and comes back, the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
But what I got from this, I still want to see that Bobby Lashley and Lesnar match. I think
Man,
Lesnar
wow,
might
that.
be in the Royal Rumble, and I think Lashley might eliminate Lesnar, which might
And
finally
that
set up
lead
that
up to
match
WrestleMania match.
for WrestleMania if Lashley don't win a Rumble and get the title.
Exactly.
Yeah, and my other picks could be Lashley, could be Brock if he comes back. I was also thinking Keith Lee if they want to challenge or a Hell.
That's if Vince don't send them down to the performance center.
Yeah.
But let's talk about WWE once again. These motherfuckers on their ass. Let's talk about the growing phenomenon of constantly redoing matches. I mean, you've seen it over the years to keep rivalries going, but you always got to get creative in why you're keeping the rivalry going. Like we seen a couple years ago with Samoa Joe going up against AJ Styles for about 5-6 times over 4 or 5 months.
Oh, Wendy!
but now, like, I understand when it's for something that big, like the WWE title, okay, stretch it out. But now we're having feuds that have no meaning behind them. For example, Elias versus Jeff Hardy for about the 4th or 5th time in the last 2 months. And none of them have the title. Now Jackson Riker's in the picture.
I think that match was just thrown together because of the whole Drew McIntyre thing. They had to redo the show, so I think they just threw that match in. I don't think that was going to happen. Then you saw him fight twice in a row. Why did he do that?
I think a bunch of matches was just thrown together, like Xavier Woods against T-Bar was just thrown together.
And the same thing happened with Sheamus and Keith Lee. They won the tag match. They came up
and that's what I wanted to talk about 3 Mondays ago. Two superstars had double matches. Matt Riddle with Lashley and MVP, Jeff Hardy with Elias and Riker, Keith Lee and Sheamus. They both had double matches. That was interesting.
Also, another thing, I saw them, they said potentially all had double matches because a lot of people were on the show. A lot of people was in quarantine, so they had to pull a double duty, supposedly.
Interesting. All our world champions have big storylines. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Kenny Omega, Rich Swann, Kota Ibushi. It's. I think it's gonna be a good year of 2021 wrestling. What y'all think?
Hell yeah.
I agree.
Hey,
hopefully.
We ready for it.
Let's get it.
We ready to check. We gonna check out y'all point of views, guys. Hope you check out ours. This is the Y'all Heard What I Said Wrestling Pod. 2021 is about to be a blast.
2021.
We look forward to seeing everybody, working with everybody, supporting everybody. From Diesel D, Telp, and Darren, aka They Don't Want None. We out. Hey, God dang.